Today's horoscope from Astrocademy, Pisces January 4, 2023. You may wrestle with a bit of doubt today. The temptation to agree with others is strong but could lead to misrepresentation or problems later. Alternatively, if someone seems to be undermining you, know that it stems from their insecurities, and perhaps they're trying to get a rise out of you only to feed their own need for attention. As the day advances, the mood shifts and conversations are rewarding. Also today, Venus moves into a supportive, happy place in your solar chart, where it will transit until the 26th. It's a time for seeking out people and situations that make you feel at ease about expressing who you are. This transit is light and easy. It especially supports your friendships, whether they're current, new, or developing. It happens when Mercury has just turned retrograde, and Venus can help soften some rough edges. You might enjoy some experimentation with projects, endeavors, and connections. It can be a good time for money from a business. The stars are singing sweetly today. Compassion and tenderness will sing from your heart. A magical day has arrived. You may feel more emotional, especially around situations of the past, but it should be more positive energy rather than rocky or hypersensitive. Mental Mercury is dancing perfectly in a sextile with Neptune. Consider immersing yourself in art, creativity, or beauty with your one and only. If you happen to be single, consider going on a date to a festive holiday event or watching the snow fall as you have intimate conversations. You'll enjoy the peaceful vibe. Think about what you should pursue to feel professionally and financially secure. Be open to talking about your hidden passion projects and ideas at work when Mercury retrograde in Capricorn sextiles Neptune in Pisces. You may feel more self-assured when you open up about what you want to pursue in your career or accomplish, especially since the Sun in Capricorn will also trine the North Node in Taurus. Later in the day, your attention will shift to networking opportunities to create authentic bonds with professionals far and wide when Venus enters Aquarius. While they will both leave today because Venus will leave your career sector before the Moon leaves your income sector, your nose for money will be sharp and you will be emotionally and intuitively engaged during the planet of money's final hours. This is making Venus' job of steering this new professional year in a lucrative direction easier while leaving behind planets on the income and career fronts that will continue what they started. Use today's planetary energy to get yourself moving. The physical portrait for you is Downward Dog. If you are not familiar with this very popular yoga position, it's like doing a push-up but hoisting your rear end straight up toward the ceiling, so your body makes an upside-down V, with only your hands and feet touching the floor. This posture releases all the tension in your neck and shoulders, where you tend to feel it most. On a day like today, you may want to consider some new partnerships in the workplace or even in your personal life. This day is just what you need to show your loyalty in the relationships that you already have, as well as a wonderful time to prove you can be depended on in the relationships you are just starting. Be careful though, 1, that you do not become so ambitious that you attempt too much. This evening make plans to take that special someone out for a night on the town. The Moon and Venus are both on the move today and they are doing it in unison. While having the Moon in your income sector during Venus' final hours in your career sector and of her mission to steer this new professional year in a lucrative direction is an advantage, it is also connecting with planets on the income and career fronts that will keep the momentum going. Equally helpful will be the Moon's return to your communication sector, just minutes after Venus returned to your friendship sector. There is a change of pace for Venus today, with the planet of love leaving a competitive and professionally charged part of your chart where she began the year and returning to a more social and serendipitous part. Within minutes, the Moon not only returns to your communication sector but a friendly aspect to planets on the relationship front all of a sudden shifts the focus to communication, friendship, and relationship building. Our eyes in the sky. Venus enters Aquarius in the evening, allowing us to understand what we desire from a cerebral point of view when it comes to relationships. This transit enables us to take baby steps toward finding what our heart wants as we proceed with caution in romantic matters. The Sun shares a connection with the nodes of destiny, urging us to embrace our confidence, power, passion, and self-esteem as we move through the day. The month starts with Venus entering Aquarius on January 2nd. When the planet of love is in the sign of the water bearer, we can expect a hands-off and aloof approach to expressing our sentiments. Although we want to connect with others, we do so on more of a cerebral level, which involves a meeting of the minds and intellect rather than physical touch. The 6th brings the first full moon of 2023, this one in Cancer, which means that we could undergo an emotional and mental release in the first days of the new year. This is extremely beneficial because we're able to let go of the past and move into a different headspace for the year. This particular full moon can bring up many power struggles and issues from the past, which is why it's a good time to let go of negativity and move forward toward a more positive place. January 12th marks the end of the Mars retrograde that began in Gemini on October 30th, 2022. Now that we've seen situations and relationships from a different perspective, it's up to us to decide how we want to move forward with the information we've gathered. The Mercury retrograde ends on the 18th in Capricorn, allowing us to heal from all the miscommunications and mishaps that we might have experienced with family or when traveling over the holidays. The Sun enters Aquarius on January 20th, just before the new moon in the same sign the next day. Although it's taken a few weeks, we can now begin to see our resolutions for 2023 come to fruition. Uranus in Taurus turns direct on the 22nd, and Venus enters Pisces 4 days later, making the end of the month sweeter than the start as our fantasies and desire for romance peak. In the morning, the Taurus moon squares off with Saturn in Aquarius, perpetuating isolation. We are in a stubborn mood, prepared to dig in our heels and draw out arguments to get our way. Deep down inside, we are probably aware we are making the problem worse by being inflexible. However, we have convinced ourselves that we are sticking to our principles. This heightens contention between ourselves and those in our community who are looking for a progressive solution. Should we resort to temper tantrums, we will wind up regretful of our conduct down the road. After sunup, the Capricorn Sun squares off with Chiron in Aries, stimulating sensitivities. We believe we are not receiving recognition for our hard work or talents. Instead of becoming angry, we feel embarrassed. To maintain a sliver of self-esteem, we can convince ourselves that because we weren't given a break, others shouldn't be either. This logic may be mimicking the voice of an elder figure, perhaps a paternal one who failed to cut us slack in our youth. Try to step back from the immediacy of irritating or frustrating interactions today. Whose voice is in your head? Think of all the healing that you could offer, not only to your inner child, but to those around you, if you chose a different tactic and broke the chain of criticism.